Hello everybody, episode number 10, JumpX Performance Podcast. Today we're going to be speaking about our free program that we got coming out and also a little bit about auto-regulation and why it's important.
Well, yeah, basically why auto-regulation is key to your long-term athletic success and actually getting results and not getting injured.
Basically saying like just because the program says do this exact weight at this exact rep scheme doesn't mean you always have to do it because life happens. Right?
Exactly.
Life can happen and you got to work around it.
But yeah, anyways, we'll touch on our free program that we're coming out actually today. We only put like one announcement out for it, so it's a bit of like a surprise thing, which is cool. It's like Eminem's album back in the day, just dropped out of nowhere.
Did it? Well, I don't know. I don't know about this. Which one?
I forgot what it's called, but the one with the airplane on the album art. But he just dropped it out of nowhere. It surprised everyone. So I guess we're sort of doing the same, but
we haven't really hyped it up.
No, we haven't hyped it at all, but basically, a free program. So it's a free bodyweight program, so you don't need any sort of equipment. Basically, if you head to our Instagram and the link in either mine or Tom's bio, you go on a link tree, you'll see it, free bodyweight program. It's actually called the Bounce Blueprint Bodyweight. All right, so check that out and then just follow the link and basically implement the code and it'll come up on your train heroic that you download and you'll see the training on your calendar. All right, and obviously if you guys are doing the training, you guys are doing the program, let us know, tag us, put us on the stories, all that sort of stuff. All right, would love to hear from you. Yeah.
By the way, Train Heroic is just like an app you go into the App Store and download, and it's like where you can view all your exercises that you need to do for the day. There's like 4 steps, right? Like it's not that hard to download.
No, we have a full document explaining exactly what to do, guys. So you shouldn't be confused at all.
If you're worried about it's gonna take too long out of my day, it's literally like a 5-minute max job. Yeah. Like max, like unless you're like really shit with technology.
Yeah, and doing the program's not that long. It's like max an hour a day.
Yeah, if that.
To jump higher.
There are zero excuses to not. Yeah. If you're not on a program, and if money is maybe an issue for you. There's no reason to not do this, right?
Exactly, it's free. So you can't be like, it's too expensive, it's free.
Yeah, or I don't have enough time because everyone's got half an hour.
Just to clarify, this is a beginner program too, so it's perfect if you're young, you haven't had any sort of training experience or anything like that. So it's perfect for you, like if you don't have access to a gym or anything like that. Perfect for you.
Or if you've done nothing little to nothing in the past, like just because you're not young, just say you're like 25. And maybe you played basketball when you were younger, but over recent years you kind of just done nothing, sat at home or whatever. Program applies to you because it's going to be challenging still, even though it's bodyweight, because you're not used to these things that we're putting into the program.
Exactly. So go check it out, guys. Check it out.
Like you said, tag us.
Yes. But anyways, into today's topic. All right, why auto-regulation is key. So basically, to summarize what auto-regulating is obviously like if you're trying to get any sort of result, you should be on a proper training program, right? But obviously that's a plan, right? But not everything always goes to plan. Some things happen, some things come up, adjustments need to be made on the fly, just to ensure long-term success. So an example, for myself, last week I did half squats for the first time in quite a while. Quite a lot of load on your knees is a higher intensity than doing full depth just because of the loading. Flared up my quad tendon a little bit to cause me a little bit of pain. I did have a low rent dunk session planned that week, but I skipped it, didn't do the low rent dunk session because I knew that would flare up my knees, even though that was programmed. My squats on the Thursday, I cut the volume down as well, and then Saturday I was able to jump pain-free, even though I flared my knees up earlier in that week. So that's an example of auto-regulating, right? I changed my program on the fly to ensure I didn't flare my knees up more and I was able to jump on Saturday, right? Because you got to remember, guys, the main goal is jumping, right? Practicing the skill of dunking, all right? That's why you're listening to this podcast, right?
Yeah, if you're injured, you're not going to be jumping.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not jumping, you're not getting better at jumping.
Exactly, and I had to do the same thing this week. I kept my loads the same in terms of my squats, but adding in the low rim dunk session flared my knees up a little bit. So my squats yesterday, I had programmed 3 sets of 5. Really wanted to do 3 sets of 5, but I really pulled my ego in, kept myself in check.
Yeah.
That's integral, and I only did 2 sets of 5. And I am pretty much pain-free today because I didn't overload my tendon, and I'm going to be able to jump tomorrow pain-free again. All right, and that's another example of adjusting my program on the fly, according to how my knee pain was and how I was responding to things as well.
That's what I was going to say, or I was going to bring up, but you actually brought up first, the whole ego thing. Right? People will be like, oh, it says 3 sets of 6 on my program at 80%. I have to do it on, or like, I don't know, or their like ego gets, taking a hit or whatever. But yeah, like for example, Hack, which is one of our hardest working clients, right? He will do everything on the program. Sometimes we actually have to pull him back and be like, we know you can get through the session even though it hurts, but like,
Yeah.
Because he's actually had calf pain.
It's a good problem to have. Someone working too hard.
Yes, it is a good problem to have.
I'd rather someone working too hard.
Not doing anything.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Not like 10 times out of 10.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's been really good because we took out all back squats, all deadlifts for him, and he loves doing those, right? So he's been really like good and not, going off program and doing those secretly. So I'm just kind of
What a good boy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
What a good boy.
But that's all regulation, isn't
I might have to give him a little chocolate on Saturday for being such a good boy.
You give chocolates to your younger boys, do you?
Yeah, my white van, right?
Yeah.
Just pull up to the dunk session,
That's not an Australian thing, is it? Like everyone would understand that reference.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
know Nathan would know that.
Yeah. I don't know, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll move on from that.
Yeah, we'll get off that topic pretty quick. But yeah, anyway, so like obviously Hack does his program to a T, which is a good thing. Like obviously we want people doing that, but like to a point, if like doing what we set out to, or what we lay out for you, that's gonna get you injured, then obviously not. Right? You always gotta think is what I'm doing today, is that gonna allow me to train tomorrow? And also what I like to say as well, it's better to do too little than too much. Alright, because you got nothing to lose from doing too little, but you got everything to lose from doing too much and putting yourself in pain, and then not be able to train for a month properly. Yeah. So you always got to think. You always got to think long term. Always got to think long term, and that's how ultimately you do get strong and ultimately actually see some real results, because you're not getting injured as regularly, if at all, because you're actually managing your load and auto-regulating. Like this whole podcast is about.
The only time I would say we kind of would go back on what we've just said then is obviously we're all dunking to get better at dunking, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like dunk camp's almost like the Olympic equivalent of the dunker world.
Yeah.
It's like everyone peaks for dunk camp, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the only case where there's an exception of, okay, say your knees are like a 4 out of 10 and you wake up in the morning in Utah and you're like, if I jump today for like an hour, I'm going to wake up the next day, I'm not walking, alright? But obviously, dunk camp happens once a year.
Yeah.
Even John has said this, John Evans, and a few other athletes, they will actually almost, I don't know how to, there's a saying for it, but you're almost like biting the bullet earlier in a way.
Well, so it basically is worth it at that point because it's dunk camp.
Yeah, because that's what you're training for, right?
Yeah, but it's like being in the NBA finals and be like, oh, I can't play. I got a 4 out of 10 knee pain. When you got a chance of winning an NBA
championship,
NBA ring. Like, no, of course you're not going to do that.
It's like Kevin Durant.
Of course you're not going to auto-regulate. You're going to try to play, right? Because that's the whole reason you're playing is to fucking win.
Yeah.
The NBA finals. That's why any NBA player is winning. That's every NBA player's dream.
Yeah.
So obviously in that situation it's a little bit different, right? But most of you guys aren't in that situation.
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
again, saying that, things have come to mind where that has happened and people have actually paid the price. Nathan said there was this guy at dunk camp that did the exact thing. He popped like hella painkillers and it's still in load management now, which is like 4 months later. And then...
But that's where you got to weigh up the options.
Yeah, exactly.
Is me jumping today worth me being in 4 months of knee pain and not be able to train properly and getting unathletic and going backwards with my training just to get healthy? Yeah. So that's what you got to think about.
And then another extreme example is in the finals, Kevin Durant, when he was on the Warriors. Remember I think they thought he strained his Achilles, right? Yeah. Then he went to go play in the finals because they needed him for that game. I think it was against the Rockets or something.
Yeah.
Tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
So that's it, and then he was out for like a season or whatever. So that's an extreme example of, even though you really want to do something because it's like important, in those kind of cases, you might actually need to pull back.
And it's such a tough thing to do sometimes. It's so tough to do, and it takes like such a high level of maturity and self-restraint and discipline to be able to do things like this. Like it's a strength in of it itself, and I would argue the ability to do this and have this sort of mental strength and I guess self-awareness. It's much harder than pushing yourself in that session.
Yeah.
Right. Like yesterday, so I spent like 30 minutes contemplating whether I was going to do 3 or 2 sets, and I just reminded myself, look, I got nothing to gain from doing 3 sets, but everything to lose from doing those 3 sets, right? So I reined myself in, did those 2 sets.
Yeah.
So
what was that for?
just squats, man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Literally just squats. So, and
cool.
I'm working up today, and obviously I've made the right decision. All right.
Yeah.
So, but that's where you just got to really like be onto yourself and really have that high level of discipline and rein that ego in. Rein that ego in. Don't let it take over. Yeah. It's easy for us guys, right? To, I don't want to be a bitch. Like, I don't want to be, a pussy. I don't want to,
The hardest worker in the gym.
Yeah, the hardest worker in the gym, blah, 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 blah. Right? But ultimately, if you do want to get those results long term, you know what I mean?
I feel like it comes with age as well.
Yeah. Like when I was 21, 20, like I wasn't like this, but yes, since I'm 25 now, since I've become more mature, I've got a lot more experience under my belt. I know things, I've experienced things, I've tried to push through things in the past. It doesn't work. Even if it does work, it's only very temporary, right? You pay interest on that eventually, right? It always comes back to bite you. You can only outrun these things for so long, right? And then obviously it's like, the longer you outrun it, the more of a price you pay in the long run. So
think of it like you're at the top of a cliff, or like just under the top of a cliff, and there's a snowball, like a tiny snowball at the top of the cliff, alright? And you start running down the hill and the snowball's chasing you. The further you get down the hill, the bigger the snowball's going to get. That's a good way to put it.
And
by the time you turn around and try and stop the snowball, if you're at the top of the hill, just like that, no worries. Hit a set of that's like hitting a set of ISOs and your knee pain goes away. Bottom of the hill, and the snowball's fucking ginormous. That's like tearing your leg in half. Yeah. That's extreme as fuck, but yeah.
It's like it's like people with their sleep, right? Like people don't sleep, so then they take more caffeine the next day, right, to make up for that lack of sleep. But then the caffeine affects their sleep the next night, and it just keeps going around in circles. They're taking more caffeine. They're getting less and less sleep, and the reason they're taking the caffeine in the first place is because they're not getting enough sleep, right? But if they were just to essentially wheel back on the caffeine, reduce that urge or hold in that urge to actually have that caffeine, fix their sleep, like they're actually gonna have real energy, right? And caffeine is rented energy, it's not real energy.
Yeah.
Because
doesn't it work by it blocks the tired receptors in your brain? It plugs a hole so your body can't put in its own brain chemicals into that hole saying, I'm tired. Yeah. Because it's plugged.
That's why people crash after having a huge amount of caffeine. It's because you're essentially delaying that tiredness. You're hiding that tiredness.
That's like us on Saturday night after dunking. Yeah. I feel like everyone in that session has a crash around 7, 8.
Yeah.
Because we dunk around 12. Yeah. And honestly, we dunk at 4 sometimes on Saturdays, if the courts are booked or whatever. And I definitely find when we dunk at 4 and we have caffeine at 4, sleep is shit. Yeah. Even if you go to sleep, I feel like even your quality.
But it's for that dunk session once a week, one night for that dunk session once a week. Yeah. It's kind of worth it's worth it for us at that point, but it's not something we do every night. No. It's not once a week. That's fine. You know what I mean? But every night, 100% no.
I mean,
sleep is integral for improving your ability to adapt.
Facts.
To your training. So we got our client going through that at the moment that we're trying to address and fix his sleep.
Yeah.
So, but
you'd be up on Saturday nights anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, clubs and such.
Yeah, party animal.
Yeah.
No.
Not anymore.
I'm too old for that.
Yeah, not anymore.
I'm too old for that now. I'm an old man.
No.
Not like you. Just a baby.
Young and sprightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I go out all the time, hey?
Huh?
I go out all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
That's what I'm known for, right? in our dunk circle.
What?
The party guy.
Party guy. Yeah, just like hacks the hardest worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Bailey?
Yeah, Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like how we can apply this to basketball, right? So one of our JumpX athletes at the moment, heavy basketball load, right? So really, like he had his original training plan, but only he's only like found out he's playing state champs and all that stuff recently. So I've had to manipulate and change his training and programming and volume to accommodate for the extra basketball load he has going on at the moment. So I've really reeled back his volume in his training. He's doing a shit ton of running and all that sort of stuff. His calves are fried quite often, so I've had to cut out a lot of speed work and plyometrics out of his training. Right, so his calves actually can recover from what he's doing in terms of his basketball load. Right, so I basically had to auto-regulate his training in that sort of fashion and way. And basically he just messaged us yesterday saying that he's jumping the highest he ever has. Right?
That's crazy,
so
right?
It's crazy. It just goes to show you guys how important this is and how important it is to adapt your training to your current life situation. It's like another example, right? Training is a stress on your system, right? So if you have a shit ton of life stresses going on in your life, like you got exams, right?
Relationship.
Work, relationship, your girlfriend broke up with you, you're sad, you're depressed, you're stressed, all that sort of stuff. All that stress on your body, right? In that sort of scenario, you don't want to keep your training the same. No. Right? Because your stress levels are so elevated, and that's very unhealthy, and that's a recipe to get injured, right? So you tear muscles and hurt yourself. So that's another example of auto-regulating your training, because your body responds to stress in the same way. It's the same chemical process.
I was gonna say, your body doesn't really know like the difference.
Doesn't know the difference.
Things, right?
It's just a chemical process, right? So you got to accommodate your training to your current stress levels and your volume and intensity to your current stress levels, right? Yeah. So if you're in a high stress situation, you've got exams in that week, and your program has 5 sets of 5, 6 days a week training, that's done. You're dead. Yeah. Of course you're going to get injured at that point. Yeah, don't force yourself to train. Cut your training for that week, half it, maybe 50% of what you normally do. And then the next week, once your exams are over, everything's returned to normal, we don't have that stress, then increase your training load from there. Yeah.
And if you start thinking, I'm doing half the work, I'm not going to make as many gains, think about if you get injured, you're going to be out for like who knows how long. You're going to make even less gains. So
exactly,
it's like the less of two evils.
That's where you got to think long term, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm going to jump today, my knee pain's 4 out of 10. Will this session flare my knees up? Probably, but I'm going to jump anyway. Cool, you hit a E-spade for the first time, that dunk session, but now you can't dunk for 5 months. Right?
That must be a fuck session, yeah.
Yeah, because you flared your knee pain up. Is it worth it at that point? Yeah, you E-spade, but you probably would have hit the next session if you just lowered your volume, and now you can dunk for the next 5 months, and then over the course of those 5 months, by the end of those 5 months, you would have been way further ahead at the end of those 5 months, despite you hitting the E-spade earlier than you otherwise would have if you forced yourself to jump.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're still going through rehab. And yeah, you can E-spade, but you can't hit all those dunks you otherwise probably would have if you just reined it in and hit that E-spade a week later. You see what I'm saying? This is how you progress long term, guys. This is where you need to be smart. This is where you need to think about what you're doing and actually really reel yourself in.
This is easier said than done, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
You've definitely overjumped trying to hit a dunk before, surely at one point in your
life. Oh yeah, no, 100%. We all made that.
And I know I have, like, yeah. So this is again, we're not saying this like we're better than you. We've never overjumped. We're always like sticking to our program, but take it from our own advice. Like we've both done it, and we've both like flared something up or injured ourselves or whatever. Yeah. And we're kind of just saying this like to help you, so you don't do the same thing because at the end of the day, it's just passing on our mistakes and teaching you not to make the same mistakes earlier.
Make sure you learn from your mistakes too, because if you just keep making the same mistake over and over again, you're not learning from it. Yeah. You're not making mistakes anymore. You're just making dumb decisions.
Dumb decisions, yeah.
You're just an idiot at that point.
I thought of a pretty good analogy for the stress thing, right? Yeah. Thinking of a glass, right? Just say like, general life stresses, just like living on a normal day. Maybe it's like a third full. Then you put exams in. Maybe it goes to like 2/3 full. And then say you got training, and that's another third. So the glass is full, all right? Now your girlfriend breaks up with you. If one of those things doesn't lower, the glass is gonna overflow, right?
Yeah.
Exams are gonna happen regardless if you like them or not, so you can't do anything about that. General life things, whether that be work or whatever, you can't really do much about that. But you can decrease your training, lower the glass a little bit, and then all that relationship stress can, you know, go through all that, can go up a little bit, but it's not gonna overflow. So, yeah, the point where you get overflowing is the point where you know get injured or burn out, whatever happens.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, I guess this is sort of a quick little plug. This is why we do full online coaching for all these reasons, right? This is why everyone that joins JumpX does the training gets such good results, because we take all these things into account into our programming. Yeah. Things are auto-regulated based on what you're telling us. Yeah. On what basically you're telling us, what our athletes are telling us, right? And this is why it's important to have your training individualized to you for these reasons. These are parts of the recipe, essentially. Definitely.
So that's something I really enjoy about all the athletes we have on our full service one, because it feels like the longer we have them on, you know, at the start it'll be like very surface level, like, oh, did I do this exercise right, da 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 da. But then, you know, like the longer we know them, they'll start telling us things about their personal life that, like, you know, otherwise we wouldn't have known if we just had them for like 1 month. And we kind of, we could become like almost friends with them. Like, we've definitely become friends with a lot of our clients, because, you know, those life experiences that we have to program around, we actually, like, you know, somewhat feel for them. Because, like, that obviously sucks, whatever they're going through. So it's kind of nice, like, helping them out and getting them through that certain point. For a lot of people, training is like an outlet. So, yeah, we can adjust their training based on whatever happened in their life. So,
so yeah, like Jeff, the sprinter I trained, like, he's just had exams going and reduced his training volume like quite a lot because of the stress of exams as well. So, and
he was actually pretty like fatigued, wasn't he, for a little bit. So, in some ways, maybe exams, he could look at it as a blessing, as a time to deload. In some ways, because he was 100%. Like kind of in a bit of a fatigue hole.
Yeah, 100%. No, 100%. And now he's like, he just told me the other day he's feeling faster than he ever has. So, yeah. So, yeah, there you go.
Jeff's one of my favorite like athletes that we know in person.
Yeah.
Just because, like,
he's so stoic.
Yeah, if he was just like an average guy, he would be so cocky. He could be so cocky. But he just doesn't say anything. Like, you know, he just like lets his work speak for him. Yeah. Like, he'll come down to dunk session and just like shit on so many people. Like, he'll have his head at the rim on like 2 steps, and you're like, what?
Everyone's like, is he trying? Like,
yeah, because he kind of like jogs into it and.
Yeah, it's just full cash.
I'm saying, I told him, like, if you want to become a like professional dunker, you could easily within like 6 months.
Yeah.
And he was like, what?
Oh, he just needs to practice dunking.
That's what I'm saying. But he's got like the height. If he just practiced jumping more, his vert would explode. Yeah. But obviously, he's trying to. What is his goal?
It's like sprinting.
That's like, is it?
He's trying to go to the Olympics for sprinting.
Yeah, okay. So the Olympics is like the.
He's trying to be fast as fuck, boy.
He's gonna get under 11 this year, 100%.
Yeah.
Or whenever the season starts.
That'll be sick. He's so much more powerful now. Yeah. That's so much more powerful.
Yeah, he said he ran his PR like 1.5 years ago. So there's no reason he won't beat that shit like easily.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, like another way you can auto-regulate your training is through tracking velocity. Yes. Alright, so if you're moving weights at certain speeds and you're tracking those speeds you're moving certain weights at, the squats and things like that, and you have a means of tracking the bar velocity, then if you know that bar velocity is down 1 week and not where it should be, good indicator that you're fatigued for that day. And obviously on that day you can, instead of basing your training off the weights like we talked about on one of our other podcasts, you can base the training off the speeds, right? So the weight auto regulates on that day based on the speed. So you could be like, I want to move this weight at 0.7 meters a second, right?
Which is decently quick.
Which is decently quick. So I want to move it, but I'm doing 100 kilos and it's not moving at that. I've had a big week of work and all that sort of stuff, then cool, drop the 90. Oh, now it's moving 0.7 meters a second. Cool. There you go. Your weight's auto-regulated and your training's auto-regulated on that day for you.
Say 1 week, you squat 100 kilos for like 5 reps and the average speed is, 0.65. You know, a week comes around, it's the exact same day, but a week ahead, and you're now at 0.4. you know, more than likely you're probably tired or something's going on. You're fatigued in some way, whether that be muscular or like nervous system.
But like if you're progressively overloading and you're trying to increase the weight each week, the bar velocity is going to go down.
Yeah.
Like not all the time, it might stay the same.
And that's like best case.
That's like best case, right? But like it'll probably go down. So if you're doing that, expect that.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen as well. So don't stress out.
It's best to compare the same weight. Don't be like, I squatted 120 and it moved slower than 100. Well, no shit it did. I'd hope it did. Otherwise you're a freak.
Yeah. Or you're just not lifting heavy enough. So.
Or you didn't use enough intent or whatever.
Yeah, all those things too. So, another example as well is like, you know, when you go into a competition period, so say you got all these dunk shows and all that sort of stuff, right? A lot of unexpected things happen.
Oh shit.
In those scenarios, like you've done dunk shows, right?
Dunk shows, yeah. Long dunk contest.
Dunk shows, yeah, all that sort of stuff.
You gotta peak for them.
Yeah, peak for them. So you might have planned to peak for it, and then obviously once you go through that competition period, goal is just to kind of maintain what you have. If you're jumping a lot. Same
with like state champs with Bailey.
Oh yeah.
Like you know, they play so many games in one weekend. Austin and I would go like, oh yeah, we're gonna really try and, you know, improve your vert during this. Really
bro.
Let's just give him like the most hard workout ever.
No, I literally said to him the other day, I'm like, bro, literally our goal is just to maintain what you have right now.
Yeah.
And if you gain what you have right now, like hell yeah, bro, that's an ideal situation, perfect. But I'm not trying to give you workload and intensity involved.
You're not trying to push the needle.
Yeah.
Not on that one.
But yeah, state champs. If you guys don't know what state champs is, I remember playing state champs. Like, you guys don't know this, I used to play wobble and all that when I was younger. I used to play for Willerton. Yeah, I remember playing state champs like every year. Like, man, that's intense. Like, I know, like you're playing like so many games in a weekend, man. Like 8 games in a weekend. Yeah, they're shorter games, so they're still fatiguing out.
Bro, you're still playing for hours.
Still playing for hours, like all day. You know what I mean? Like I remember that Sunday night after state champs, man. Like literally, my body was like fucked.
Yeah.
Like, and like, yeah.
That's where that photo.
It was messed up.
That photo of you, the one you always use for like, this is what I looked like before I was athletic or whatever. It's always that one photo of you at state champs.
I think that was state champs.
You're on like court 3.
Yeah.
It's like the one when you first walk in the door.
What is it? Oh, what's the stadium called?
It's called Bendat. No, is it still called Bendat? Or whatever. Yeah, I think it's called Bendat now. It used to be called Perry Lakes.
Perry Lakes, yeah, but Bendat. Yeah, back when it first came out, it was like brand new.
I want to dunk there.
Yeah, we'll have to dunk there one day.
Well, I have dunked there, but I want to take you there and dunk because, bro, the courts are so nice.
Yeah, I haven't been there in years, man. Like, the thing is, we dunk mostly on Saturdays, so like...
You can't,
Yeah, so unless we had like a second dunk, unless we go in a competition period, you know, dunk twice a week.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, that'll be sick, but...
Not right now.
No, it'd be sick. It would be nostalgic to go back there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Facts.
It'll be nostalgic to go back there, but yeah, state champs is like messed up, man. Like how much you're actually playing in a weekend. Like looking back, man, I don't know how the hell I'd never had knee pain the whole time when I was going out playing basketball.
Yeah.
Like even when I would play like 8 games in a weekend, like I'd get no knee pain. It's stupid. Fuck. I don't know.
There's probably a few reasons. Like you were younger, you had less force output. Yeah. You were lighter.
Yeah.
You weren't doing weight training on top of it.
I was skinny as fuck.
Yeah, so you were light. Yeah.
I was skinny as fuck. I was so light. Like I had no upper body mass at all. So
your legs were like decently sized. They weren't like skinny.
Yeah.
Your upper body was just like meh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. It was stupid. But yeah, I wasn't athletic too, so yeah, I wouldn't. Alright, so our camera just cut out. We're using a better camera, so I don't know if you guys can tell. Like, you know, you can see our prettier faces, much more. But
your pretty face.
Don't flatter me, bro.
Yeah. I need to grow this.
But yeah, camera just cut out because I think there's a 30-minute timer on it. But yeah, we're gonna cap things off there. We're gonna end the podcast there. So if you guys are looking for training, you're looking to take your training to the next level, you're looking for guaranteed results.
All your money back
Within the first 30 days. Alright, send us a message on Instagram, JumpX, we'll get in touch and we'll go from there. Alright, obviously free program, go in the link in the descriptions, Tom and I's descriptions. We'll put it in the JumpX one as well, we'll make a link tree for the JumpX and we'll put it in there as well. So if you guys are looking for that free program, go check that out.
It'll be the first link in there, like the top one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
easy to find, easy to set up, easy to do. No reason not to do it. So go ahead, go get that.
And also, don't forget to on YouTube, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what your thoughts on this podcast were. On Spotify, what is it on Spotify? It's like, what is it?
I think it's rating out of
5
stars.
Rate the podcast. Save it. Whatever you follow us on Spotify. I think that's what it is. I don't really use Spotify. But whatever it is on Spotify, do that. Really helps us out. Really helps us reach a broader audience and help obviously give people more value. Help people. So go do that, guys. But without further ado, we'll see you in the next one.
See you later.